Nicole Ballew Callaham, a 33-year-old former kindergarten teacher from South Carolina, is facing serious criminal charges related to an alleged prolonged sexual relationship with a teenage student. Callaham taught at Homeland Park Primary School in Anderson County from 2017 until she resigned in May 2025. She also worked with Project Challenge Playhouse, where she first met the alleged victim during a school play audition. She is being charged in 2 different counties. Anderson County, 3 counts of criminal sexual conduct with a minor, 1 count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. And Greenville County, 8 counts of criminal sexual conduct with a minor, 4 counts of unlawful conduct toward a child. Investigators say the abuse began in 2021, when the boy was 14 years old, and lasted for 2 years. Callaham allegedly groomed the student, signed him out of school, transported him to activities, and used her role as a supervisor to intensify the relationship. The victim, now 18, has publicly identified himself as Grant Strickland, saying he hopes his story encourages other male survivors to speak out. Judges in both counties granted surety bonds totaling $160,000, with house arrest, GPS monitoring, and a no-contact order with the victim. She must undergo psychological testing to determine her competency to stand trial, and she's barred from coming within a mile of the victim's residence. Her attorney revealed she is 8 to 9 weeks pregnant, though the father has not been publicly identified, but it is believed it is not this victim's. I personally hope it is not another victim's child. The case spans multiple jurisdictions, including a 3rd investigation in Clemson, suggesting potential additional charges. Authorities have corroborated the victim's claims through search warrants, interviews, and family cooperation. Legal experts say the victim may also pursue civil action against Callaham and possibly the school district, if negligence is proven. Compensation could include damages for emotional trauma, therapy costs, and educational impact. The victim, now 18, has spoken publicly in court, challenging stigma around male survivors and calling for greater awareness. His courage is prompting broader conversations about safeguards in schools and community programs, especially in theater settings where oversight may be limited. The now young man was brave enough to speak up and speak out about it, saying this.
All I really want the public to know is that though it's a traumatic event, I'm here to fight and I'm not going to back down. And that I think more awareness needs to be brought to things like this, and just because I'm a man doesn't mean that it should be shunned away. Because I was a child, I wasn't a man, I was a boy.
I'm Julie Grant, and we are in South Carolina for a brand new case we're tracking for you. We're calling this one the teacher or predator case for defendant Nicole Callaham. The 33-year-old is charged with sexually assaulting a teenager for 2 years' time when he was 14 years old. Callaham was somewhat of a mentor to the teen, not directly teaching him in any classes. On Monday, she was in court for a bond hearing where it was revealed that she's now pregnant. However, we do not believe it is the victim's child. We do know for a fact that she was given bond. We're going to play the whole unaired hearing for you coming up this hour, and you're going to hear the victim in the case speak out.
All I really want the public to know is that though it's a traumatic event, I'm here to fight and I'm not going to back down. And that I think more awareness needs to be brought to things like this, and just because I'm a man doesn't mean that it should be shunned away. Because I was a child, I wasn't a man, I was a boy.
The victim, Grant Strickland, says the abuse began in 2021 when he was 14 years old and lasted for 2 years. Callaham allegedly groomed him by signing him out of school, transporting him to practices, and supervising after-school activities. Authorities claim she provided him with alcohol and drugs, intensifying the inappropriate relationship. The abuse reportedly continued even after Strickland transferred schools from Anderson to Greenville. Strickland came forward after turning 18, saying he needed time to process the trauma. He told reporters the abuse nearly drove him to suicide, and he hopes his story encourages other male survivors to speak out. His mother said the family trusted Callaham, believing she was mentoring their son through theater programs, but now feels manipulated and betrayed. A third investigation is underway in Clemson, suggesting possible additional charges. Here are some clips from her recent court hearing.
You had a chance to talk to her this morning, did you, Nick?
I did. Yes, sir, I have. Yes, sir.
Come around, Ms. Callaham, and you'll be right there with Mr. Epps. All right, Ms. Callaham, you've been charged by the Greenville City Police Department with several charges here. I'll just count them up. Is it 6 CSC charges?
8, Your Honor.
8 now, okay. And then I've got 2, it looks like unlawful treatment of children.
There should be 4 more. On it for the child. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know whether I've got those here in the stack or not. All right, but you understand you've been served with a number of warrants, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you've been arraigned on those charges by our ministerial recorders at the detention center. You understood the nature of the charges, what the warrant body says, and also you understand the punishments for these cases. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you've had a chance to talk to Mr. Epps about these cases. All right, well, this purpose of you being brought here this morning is for me to set bond on each of these cases. And in order to do that, I'm going to hear a little bit from the detective that handled the case, Mr. Bowles. Detective Bowles, tell me a little bit about this factual situation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On May 22nd, 2025, the Greenville Police Department received a report from investigators from the Anderson County Sheriff's Office regarding the sexual assault case listing Nicole Ballew Callaham as the suspect. The victim, through an interview with the Anderson County Sheriff's Office and the Greenville Police Department, reported a history of calculated manipulation, grooming by Callaham, which allowed her considerable access to the victim, who was a minor child at the age of 14, but under the age of 16 at that time. Through this access and position of influence over the victim, Callaham began sexually assaulting the victim and providing the victim with alcohol while in outings to various extracurricular activities, many of which were in and around the city of Greenville. The abuse continued after the victim began attending school his junior and senior year in the city of Greenville. Throughout the investigation, we've obtained statements, both physical and digital evidence, and records to corroborate the reports of abuse. The state is requesting that the municipal court no bond the defendant Nicole Callaham at this time. This case is still under investigation and very likely to produce criminal charges, which Callaham is already on bond for, with charges stemming from Anderson County Sheriff's Office. And I do have copies. The court requested bond paperwork from Anderson County as well as a criminal history from Ms. Callaham. If the court would like that, may I approach, Your Honor?
Pass that up.
Yes, sir. You've also got a copy.
I have a copy of this.
Of the time factor involved between these cases that were committed there in Anderson and the ones that began to be committed in the city of Greenville.
It's been about
Did Anderson predate that by some time?
There is some. We've got about 2 years of reported abuse from the time that they met till the time that the abuse stopped. But I don't have a hard line date as far as when it started in the city of Greenville and when it stopped in Anderson County, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, and I didn't know whether it. You indicated that he finished his or is working on his junior and senior year here in the city of Greenville.
He is no longer here, Your Honor.
Okay, he's graduated from school. Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
but he was here for approximately a 2-year period,
Yes, Your Honor.
and that was pretty much exclusively where he was.
Yes, Your Honor.
He lived on campus.
Part-time, and then he would go back home
Okay.
to Anderson. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so very good. I understand a little bit more about it. Mr. Epps, anything you'd like to tell me about this?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. May it please the court, William Norman Epps III. I represent the defendant, Nicole Ballew Callaham. Your Honor, respectfully, we ask the court to set a reasonable bond. This is pursuant to our state constitution, Article 1, Section 15. Also, our statutory code 1715-10, as well as statutory code 225510. Your Honor, we ask the court to set a reasonable bond. Again, she was in front of Anderson County Magistrate Court for a bond hearing last Thursday, July the 10th. She was granted a surety bond on each and every one of her charges that are pending. These charges overlap, and obviously, Your Honor, you know that Ms. Ballew she's got a presumption of innocence, which is applicable to all criminal defendants prior to conviction. Your Honor, she's 33 years old. She's not charged with any capital crime. Other than the pending matters, the defendant Ms. Callaham has no criminal background. I will also let Your Honor know that Ms. Callaham is 8 to 9 weeks pregnant with a prenatal appointment with her OBGYN on tomorrow, July the 15th, 2025 at 10:50 a.m. She has not had any prenatal care. Again, she cooperated with Anderson County. She cooperated with law enforcement. She turned herself in last Thursday, July the 10th. Since that time, Your Honor, she's had really no prenatal vitamins or prenatal care. She's dizzy now, so I have a chair here for her right now. Ms. Callaham and her family are citizens and residents of Anderson County. They've been members of that community all of Ms. Callaham's life. Ms. Callaham's mother, Rhonda, is here. Her sister, Erica, is here. Her fiance, Brandon Dixon, is here. Mr. Dixon does reside in Greenville County. Your Honor, she has a 5-year-old daughter, Livy. She's a great mother. I will tell you that Ms. Callaham taught at Homeland Park Elementary for 8 years, I believe, beginning in 2017. She stayed at Homeland Park when a lot of teachers were leaving. She stayed long after she satisfied her teaching requirements because she loved helping these students. At Homeland Park Elementary, a lot of those students were low-income minorities and special needs children. During that time, Your Honor, her students' test scores were among the highest as a result. She's been involved with the theater for many years. She has a bachelor's degree from Anderson University, where she was on the president's list, also a master's degree from the University of South Carolina, where she graduated with honors. She attends faithfully at High Praises Church in Anderson with her entire family. She was on the drama team at church, played softball and basketball youth league, and worked at a Christian daycare while in school. To what's been said by the Strickland family, her family adores her. Her mother there was a written statement by her mother at the Anderson bond hearing that said that she had said her mother and sister hated her. Again, that's not the case. Her mother and sister are here. Her family adores her. She also has a lot of cousins and nephews who all love her. They have special needs children in this family, Your Honor, and Ms. Callaham is always there to work with them and counsel their parents. Again, she was granted a surety bond in Anderson, and upon information and belief, we believe that Anderson County there's some conduct by Mr. Strickland that's being investigated by Anderson County at this time. Ms. Callaham has cooperated. She's given a statement regarding the warrants in Anderson, and we really only became aware of the Greenville investigation last week when I was advised by Investigator Erskine in Anderson County. So we certainly, Ms. Callaham certainly will cooperate, wants to cooperate. There's no evidence on the record of any convictions or any record of flight to avoid prosecution by the defendant. There's no evidence or failure to appear in court for other prosecutions of the defendant. There's no evidence of past history of violence. by Ms. Callaham or violent tendencies. She's not a flight risk or a danger to the community, Your Honor. And there's really no findings of evidence on the record that the defendant's release will not reasonably assure her appearance as required, or that she's an unreasonable danger to the community. I believe, Your Honor, as I believe that the victim lives out of state. There's been no contact in nearly a year. There's not going to be any contact in nearly a year. Well, there's not going to be any contact at all, but there's been no contact in nearly a year. And I will tell you, a lot of any contact last fall, when the victim and Ms. Callaham went to Ulta to pick out makeup. There's been really no contact since then, and any contact was initiated by Mr. Strickland. Now, we understand, there's been a lot of media coverage in this case, and I respect the media, I respect law enforcement. I cannot and will not try this case in the media.
No, sir, we're not going to do it in this courtroom either. They have a right to be here.
Absolutely.
But at that point, I'm not concerned with that.
Yes, sir.
I'm concerned about setting a bond.
Yes, sir. And so, Your Honor, we respectfully ask the court to set a reasonable surety bond if necessary, Your Honor. Set GPS, set house arrest if necessary. We ask the court respectfully set a bond. Again, Miss Callaham is pregnant. She's at 8 to 9 weeks pregnant. I'm certain that the Greenville County Detention Center doesn't want to take care of a pregnant lady in her first trimester. So respectfully, we ask the court to grant a reasonable surety bond with any other conditions that may apply. Again, Anderson County set a $10,000 surety bond on each charge, which is ultimately a $40,000 surety bond. We'd ask the court for a reasonable bond in this matter.
All right, sir. Where, if she is released on bond, is she going to be living?
She'll be living in Anderson County.
Well, I mean, with her parents or with her fiance?
If I can take a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I need to know that.
And I advise if she will be living with her fiance, Brandon Dixon, who's here in the courtroom. He does live in Greenville County.
So she's going to be living in Greenville County?
If she lives, yes, sir. She's got an apartment in Anderson County. Her family lives in Anderson County. The victim's family lives in Anderson County. The victim lives out of state, I believe, in New York. But it's my understanding, talking to my client right now, that she can live with her fiance, and that would be in Greenville County.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any indication that they're going to be additional, I realize additional charges, but additional victims at this point?
There's nothing to indicate that so far, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, is the defendant intending to work while she can up until the birth of the child? And
yes.
If so, what kind of job she going to be working?
Yes, and then again, Your Honor, once this investigation started, she was a teacher. She was going to be a teacher at North Point Elementary, but she had to resign her position. She has been an educator, but she does have a job opportunity. And if I may ask Your Honor, it's my understanding, because she cannot go back to her teaching job, but she does have a job opportunity with Mr. Dixon's sister. I believe it's called Hire Quest. It is a consulting job for construction companies, and she has been told and been offered that employment. So
right.
To work with that company.
All right, sir. Anything further from the city at this point? Anything that the victim may want to convey from me through the victim witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
I was lonely and depressed, and that's how she found me, a teacher, someone who is supposed to help kids learn and grow. Instead, she groomed and molested me. She saw I was vulnerable and used that to her advantage. What started as attention during a school play quickly turned into manipulation, emotional abuse, and trauma that I never should have had to carry. She was touchy, inappropriate, and invasive. She broke down my sense of self, fed into my eating disorder, deepened my depression, and twisted the way I saw love, identity, and safety. She called me when I tried to save her life. She told me to kill myself when I was barely holding on. She made it difficult for me to be myself, confused about who I was, and alone at a time I needed support the most. And all while doing this, she had a 2-year-old daughter, a little girl I loved like a sister, as she tore me apart behind closed doors. She didn't hurt me, she stole from me my childhood, my teenage years, the time I was supposed to be discovering who I was. She filled me with shame, guilt, silence, and fear. She saw a boy with a soft heart and tried to break him, but she didn't win. I am not haunted by her, I am not broken, I am stronger than she will ever be, and I hope it eats her alive to know that after everything she did, I still rose. I found my voice, I found my power, and I will never be silenced again. I didn't deserve the trauma and pain that she threw at me, and now the only thing she gets to live with is the truth and some really deep regret.
There are 2 more warrants that I don't have, but there's supposed to be 4 of the. It's probably somewhere between here and there. But I am going to take those warrants into consideration as well. I understand the request for no bond, but that's simply going to be a transfer of this to circuit court and then have another bond set. I'm going to set a surety bond on each of these in the amount of $10,000 as they did in Anderson for a total of $120,000 surety. The conditions on each of these bonds will be as follows. First of all, she's to be on house arrest unless she does get this job, and I'll expect you, Mr. Epps, to keep this court advised of that for the next 30 days until the General Sessions Court takes jurisdiction of all these.
Yes, sir.
She's to have, of course, absolutely no contact with the victim.
Yes.
Now, ma'am, that means social media, texting, telephone calls, emails, and also no other intervening parties, third parties of any kind. And when I say no, I mean no. And there's plenty of defendants that can tell you I've locked them up when I found that they are in fact communicating or attempting to communicate with the other parties in the case.
Yes, sir.
Now, in addition to that, I'm going to require you, Mr. Epps, and to contact the solicitor's office about either a consent order by a circuit judge to have some psychological and mental evaluation done on her as to whether or not she's competent to stand trial first and foremost, and then anything else that the city may need and the state may need in their prosecution of these cases.
Yes, sir.
And you're certainly entitled to go through the solicitor's office for a similar contact with them about ordering that kind of thing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm very concerned about the length of time that this occurred. And I'm going on the facts as I know them to be right now. Those facts may change, but it appears that there was a gross misjudgment on your client's part in deeming it appropriate in her mind to come over here and continually involve herself with this individual after he actually went to school here in Greenville and was staying over here and taking advantage of that. And I understand from what she conveyed through you and what the victim conveyed through our victim witness that manipulation seems to be going on at all times. But this is a case where I would suspect nothing other than that. Manipulation that's mutual and codependence, at least on her part, for what support she was getting. And I would also require that if there's some reason why she can no longer live with her fiance in Greenville County, that I'm to be immediately contacted, or this court within the next 30 days, and circuit court is contacted to indicate where she's changing her residence. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to also require that GPS monitoring be imposed on her when she's away from the residence and when she's there.
Yes.
And I want her to be tracked about her activities. She's not to travel even in Greenville County and Pickens County and Anderson County with regard to her work unless it can be shown to me that that's absolutely necessary. It
Yes.
sounded to me like you're talking about maybe an internal job with the I believe you said sister or
Yes.
future sister-in-law,
Yes. Yes.
that where she can work at the business.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to let her go to your office to visit if need be. Any
Yes.
court appearances, any medical appearances that she needs to make to her doctor or her OBGYN doctor.
Yes.
And also, she'll have some small amount of window of time to take care of laundry necessities and groceries and things like that if that becomes necessary.
Yes.
And I certainly want on the victim's residence in Anderson a red zone to be put around that so that she's to get not within 1 mile of that place, just to keep her away from family members that might have differing opinions over what happened with her.
Yes.
And some sort of violent contact could occur there. And you'll have to report in to the GPS people frequently. They will be conducting your essentially probation while you're out on bond, and you do not want to violate any of the conditions that I've explained to you. You have any question about those, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right. If other charges come up in Greenville County or in some other place, we'll deal with those as they come up.
We understand, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. I'll have the ministerial recorders go over these requirements with me, and then a bond will be executed for the surety bond.
Yes, sir.
At the Law Enforcement Center, hopefully sometime later on today.
All right.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am.
That was the recent bond hearing. She was granted bond with multiple conditions. And to end this video, here is the victim again and with more details from him. I give him credit for having the courage to speak up and be public. I hope his message to others will spread. It's not all right no matter who you are or how old you are. Adults need to leave children alone. And yes, even teens are children. I will be watching this case, and as more details come out, I will update you all on it.
All I really want the public to know is that though it's a traumatic event, I'm here to fight and I'm not going to back down. And that I think more awareness needs to be brought to things like this, and just because I'm a man doesn't mean that it should be shunned away. Because I was a child, I wasn't a man, I was a boy. And yeah, that's pretty much what I want them to know.
And how has that affected you over the past couple of years?
It's made me come to realize that I had to grow up very, very fast and get on a whole nother maturity level that I was never ready for and shouldn't have had to been. Yeah.
And how do you move forward from today?
I think I'm really able to move forward today because seeing it in person made it feel more real, and it feels like a weight lifted off of me. And I don't really think I would have been able to move on if it weren't for the support from family and loved ones, and being able to come out about it and be comfortable talking about it and fighting for my power back and right.
For people, because you hung on until you were 18.
Yes.
For other victims who are still holding on to that, what could you urge for those people?
Don't keep something quiet because of someone else, or if someone else tells you to. Protect your peace, because in the end, that's what's going to matter. Yeah.
What would you say to other people who might be holding?
Oh, yes. Yeah, don't not speak because of someone else, or because you're trying to protect someone else's peace, or in situations like this, you have to put yourself first, and it's gonna feel like there's not anybody there, there's not very many people supporting you, or like that you're not gonna make it to the end, or that there's so many different things that can make you feel defeated, but you just have to keep pushing because the end will be worth it. It really will. The closure, the feeling, it's wonderful. Yeah.
I think you're incredibly brave for putting your face out here and your name and telling your story. What do you hope to be able to do that? Maybe if you can make a difference to others, or
I would love to bring a more awareness to show that this happens, and it happens a lot, and it's not just to women, it's to men too, and it happens to young children, and it's got to stop. And the reason why it's repeating, it's because it's happening to those young children. Like, we need to bring more awareness so it can stop, because I would never want someone to go through what I went through, because I don't really think that most people would be strong enough to survive it. Because I almost did it. Sorry.
My last question, has this forever changed you, do you feel like?
I don't really feel like it changed me. I feel that it made me, number one, grow up quicker and learn to be mature faster. I feel that if it did change me, it changed me in a way that it made me be stronger, but also more cautious, it made it difficult for me to trust people, which can be good, and people shouldn't have to do that.